You're a broke actor and you want to get healthy, but being healthy costs a lot of money, right? Wrong. We're going to talk about it today.
Acting Class Weekly with legendary character actor Sean Whalen. Lessons, tips, and insight into the craft and business of acting from a man who's been directed by the likes of Spielberg, Eastwood, Tim Burton, Ang Lee, Michael Bay, Wes Craven, Tom Hanks, and many more of Hollywood's A-list. He is 30 years an actor and your professor, Sean Whalen.
Hello, everybody. We are going to get healthy today. And guess what, Roxy? We're not spending a lot of money.
That's really good because I ain't got a lot to spend.
Yeah, no one does. And that's why we have with us today is a wellness expert, Danielle Anderson, sitting right next to you.
Hello.
And we are all going to be talking about you're broke, you don't have a lot of money. And we talked about several episodes, saving your money to invest it in your craft and in your business. That's where most of your money should go towards. So we're going to sacrifice the nice apartment, the nice car, but we can't really sacrifice our health, because if I was selling vacuum cleaners, I would make sure my vacuum cleaners are at the best condition when I try to sell them. But if you're selling yourself, many people forget about that all the time, and they push themselves and they run themselves ragged, and then they wonder, why aren't I doing better in acting class? Why aren't I booking? You do have to take care of yourself physically as well as mentally, which we do an episode on as well coming up.
You know what I think's so great about this episode, Sean, is that you say, what, Roxy?
Oh, sorry. Go again.
You know what I think's so great about this episode, Sean?
What, Roxy?
See, we can edit that in post, right, Jeff?
Yeah, we can take care of that.
That will sound better. Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
We'll fix that one.
What I think is so great is that I probably have never, ever heard somebody come out here and say, I want to be an actor and I'm super rich. That
never
is
happens.
Not what I hear.
Yeah.
It's my friends or people who are friends of friends saying, I want to move out there. Can I do this? I'm broke.
Right.
I'm a starving artist. I don't know how to make it work. And a lot of those people's health do suffer.
Yes.
Because very, very rarely are you like, this is my dream. This is my passion. And also, you know what I don't have to worry about at all? Making money.
Yeah.
That never,
exactly.
ever happens.
Never a thing.
So
no.
I think that this is really great. And like you said, when your tool is your body, you have to treat it well.
And when you see, when we do our mental health episode to sustain yourself in this business, all of what we're going to talk about today needs to kind of be in order so you can do those mental health things. It's a mind-body connection. So just to get us started, always to my left is Roxy Striar, my co-host, and a.k.a. Miss Phenomenal.
Thank you so much, sir.
In the booth, we have Mr. Funtabulous, Jeff Graham, our producer.
Always fun and always tabulous.
And again, as I mentioned before, Danielle Anderson is here with us, going to give us those great tips. But before we get started, we're going to talk about, well, first of all, I want to talk about this dream I had.
Huh. All right. Interesting start to the show, Sean.
Well, we were. This is why it is thematic. Danielle talked to my girlfriend Sheena and I earlier in the year, gave us some nice tips. So we're doing a lot of walking after work. It's a de-stressor.
Relationship tips or health tips?
Health tips.
Okay.
Health tips, wellness tips. And so we're doing a lot of walking and talking, and I actually worked out pretty hard yesterday. Then I took my walk. So
humble brag, Sean.
Was that a humble brag?
It's the best kind of brag.
I worked out really hard
pretty
yesterday.
hard yesterday. I don't know if you
wait,
noticed.
did my shirt come off?
Oh, I don't know if you saw.
I don't know if you saw
I worked
that.
out over that way.
Wait, I was trying to point at something and I accidentally showed you my abs. I'm sorry. But anyway, so we were walking. So in the middle of the night, during a dream, I must have had a cramp, right? So I had a little bit of a leg cramp. But you know, in your dreams, they're 10 times worse. They feel a lot worse. They feel like everything's worse. So for some reason, I'm walking down this long hallway, and I'm walking, and my leg is cramping, and I'm like, oh, God, I gotta make it to the door. And in my dream, there's a guy in a suit, very sharp suit, and he's just looking at me, and he rolls his eyes and goes, oh, God. Like dissing me because I'm being too dramatic.
Queen.
I'm being a drama queen. But then I thought, how cool is that? I must be mentally healthy because I'm taking the piss out of myself. Like I created that guy. That guy was put there by me. It's not like someone else was dissing me. I'm like, you know what, dude? Even in your pain, I'm gonna call you out a little bit.
It's
by
the
weird.
ultimate Sean says relax to Sean's self.
Yeah. Exactly. It was kind of
Chill
funny.
out, Sean.
Yeah.
Love Sean.
Yeah. So I thought at first I just thought it was funny, and then I thought, oh, I feel like I'm very healthy because to me, if you can't laugh at yourself, then that's a sign of,
What do you think it signified that he was wearing a dark suit?
The man is judging you somehow.
Yeah. Ooh, a man.
And you need
The
to fight
man.
back
He
and
was quite
stick it to
the
the
man.
He was tall too.
Yes.
So was
No,
it?
I feel he was
it
tall
Jeff?
because he looked down on me. No, it was no one I knew.
But Jeff's tall.
Yeah, no one.
You know
it was
other
no one.
tall people.
There's a few out there, but besides Jeff. But
Abraham Lincoln.
yes,
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, but it was just
Jeff.
great that I thought he was looking down at me, so there was definitely some judgment.
Yeah. Authority. You have this authority figure looking.
Yeah, like an authority figure, like going, come on, dude,
Calm
even,
down.
That way,
even me.
Everybody I look at, I'm looking up to. So
Yeah.
now you know how it feels, Sean.
Yeah, sorry. All right, so let's jump into the Sean's week.
Let's do
okay,
it.
so I went to the
Sean's
rap
week.
party. Oh yeah, we're gonna try that. One, two,
I was
three.
just subtly doing it this time.
Well, now
you
we
went
kind of.
full-blown.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Sean's week.
Oh wait, you were going high, right?
That
Or-
was pretty high.
Wait, are
I
you-
could
you
sense
go
you
low,
going
I'll
high.
go high.
Because you started breathing upwards like a giraffe.
Yeah.
And so I ducked low.
Okay, all right. So we'll go. You
Who's
go
doing
low.
what?
You're going low.
Oh,
I'm going high.
ready?
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Sean's week.
It's not bad.
That was impressive.
It's super out of tune, but it was
I-
harmonized.
Out of tune. I thought we nailed it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It was kind of rude for you to judge it.
Sorry.
The
tall man,
corrector.
the tall man in me, the tall man inside me is going, oh
Who are
God.
you to judge our
Yes.
Sean's week?
Yeah,
Other than
exactly.
Sean.
That's exactly right. So I went to the rap party that I spoke about for Peter Lenkoff, who does Magnum PI, Hawaii Five-0, and MacGyver. He's the person who offered me the job in Hawaii, if you guys have listened to other episodes.
And you had worked for him 20 years prior.
20 years prior, that's how he remembered me. So I went, I met a few producers. I ran into Dwayne Clark, who was Dick Clark's son, who we went to Playhouse West together. I ran into the woman who we did my very first commercial together. That was really cool.
Not the milk commercial, though?
No, it was Caboodles, actually.
It was what?
Caboodles.
Like Kit and Caboodle?
The makeup kit, that little like fishing tackle makeup kit.
I don't know what that is.
You know
Caboodle?
Yeah.
I know Caboodle.
Yeah.
Jeff, you know Caboodle?
I do not know Caboodle.
Caboodles, guys. Caboodles.
Caboodles.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Caboodles.
Not in my
it's
world.
literally you're going to change it.
Oodles
It's-
of caboodles.
Yes, it's a basically a fishing tackle box for makeup
For men?
for women.
And you were in the commercial?
He's like, my dates. I'll have to show. We'll do a whole
Okay.
episode about that first. We'll talk.
Stuck on Caboodle.
Stuck on Caboodles. So I went to that party, and then remember, I was disappointed that he canceled the coffee. And then when we were leaving, he said, "Are you doing well?" He introduced me to other producers. We talked about the episodes, and
So
then
you didn't see him at the party until you were leaving?
No, I saw him several times. We just, quick hellos. The thing was, I knew this. He's hosting the party. So he's going to be so busy and so many people to deal with. They took over an entire bowling alley. So the place was packed, and 3 shows worth of people. So
Lucky strike.
no, it was in Tarzana, actually. So they, as I was leaving, he said, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to reschedule that. I'm going to reschedule that coffee. I'm so sorry." And I said, no, it's fine. So I said, I'll reach out to you later in the week. So after the show, afternoons, because I know he's going to get a ton of thank you emails. I wanted to wait and then say, per our conversation, CC is assistant. I'd like to reschedule the thing. And so that went really well. And
So you sent that today?
I'm going to send that this afternoon. I timed it because that's the way I wanted to do it.
But you got to meet tons of producers.
And I
too.
got to meet other producers. I
great.
mean, it was a really fun time. And
Sean.
speaking of health, I had to get something biopsies on my skin. Dermatologists just know this. They take everything off and they test everything. And 93% of them are nothing. But it's in their best interest to do that for you and just preventative. So I was getting kind of nervous about that, and I thought, screw it. And I just got on the phone and called, and they said, oh, well, it was actually skin damage. And I just laughed because I was like, everybody has skin. You live on this planet. Everybody has skin damage. So like,
What is the difference between skin that's lived in and skin damaged?
I think nothing, not much. I don't
Yeah, I think they're separating. Do you have damage or do you have cancer?
Right.
Right.
So damage is what you hope for skin damage.
Yeah,
And
you
we all
hope for
have
it,
skin
and
damage, yeah.
everybody has skin damage, and a very small percent of it turns into skin cancer. So, I was proactive and called and got that done. And
Loving Jeff in the booth right now who is Googling skin damage.
Oh God, please!
Thought maybe I could find a nice chart or graph.
Yeah, that would
Just
be
looking at
really
different
gross.
pictures.
Yeah.
That would just be the grossest
Yeah.
thing.
Now I'm kind of pukey.
Yeah. And then
I'll make sure to shut this
But
one.
I ate a lot of heavy stuff over the weekend for Easter, some candies, like we went to a brunch. But then Monday, I ended up having, green smoothies and doing a lot of water. So it's kind of a cleanse to clean out from after the weekend. So it was a very kind of businessy and healthy week. And at the wrap party, I ate what they offered and had a piece of cake and stuff like that. But then that night I ate lighter. So I'm balancing.
Couple of questions.
Yes.
Number one, are you watching your weight for purposes of health? Or are you watching it for the way you look?
No, it's
Does
not.
It help
It
you book
literally
things?
not about weight. I just knew that I ate unhealthy, so I just wanted to balance and
So it's about how you feel?
yeah, and just balance and go. You know what? I felt gross after eating a couple bad days, so I'm gonna clean out and eat some fruits and vegetables and healthy stuff.
And are you
So,
feeling better?
Yeah, I always like balancing and looking at the day and going, okay, we know we're going to like a big barbecue place today, so I'm gonna eat light in the morning and maybe like a light salad at lunch, so I can go have. So when it is time to have fun, I go have fun with no guilt.
Where does alcohol play into that for you? Does it at all? Or
It doesn't. I mean, if I drink a lot, which isn't that, sometimes on the weekends I'll have a couple drinks, but nothing too crazy.
Okay.
So that was kind of my week in tying in the health aspect, since this is a health episode.
Sean's weed.
Sean's week. Yeah, I don't know.
Sean's weed.
It feels like that feels like
weed.
that sounds like it's from a hospital bed. So
Minded?
little
Great.
judgy. Yeah.
The little judgy.
Yeah, the tall man's
You are
taking
the tall
over.
man
The
in the
tall
suit.
man is so, all of a sudden I got a jacket, I'm
And
taller.
I don't know if I like him
And
as
I don't
much.
know if I like it.
The tall
as
man
much.
needs his own show.
Yeah, the tall man, Judge Central. Okay, so before we jump into our topic, Roxy would like to talk to you with fabulous theme music, the reasons, why we do what we do here, and how to make
Yeah.
AfterBuzz a better experience for us and you.
And I believe I added in my rider that I no longer will be doing this without the theme music.
here we
so
go.
we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
punish the people and make
Yeah.
them wait until I have
Yeah.
my inspiration
Yes, I
to
love
move
this
the
theme.
people.
I love
How
this
am I
theme
supposed
music.
to move the people without the song?
It's impossible.
It really is kind of like, maybe I should download this on my iTunes, and while I'm there,
Yes.
smooth transition.
Smooth
baby.
transition.
You know what I'm going to do? I
You're
am going
gonna-
to rate, comment, and subscribe this podcast and all of our AfterBuzz TV properties. We've got so many shows for you guys. So if you don't know, we cover every, and when I say every single one, I mean 150 hours of content a week for your favorite TV shows. We do after shows talking about right now. Game of Thrones, huge
Yes,
one. I mean,
yes,
absolutely
huge.
massive. But if you're a DC fan, a Marvel fan, a sci-fi fan, a reality TV fan, anything like that, we've got stuff for you. So make sure to check out our other shows. Also, give us that 5-star, because we are very conceited here, and we
Yes.
like to see those stars.
Yeah.
But the bigger reason is because it actually helps people to find our show. So the more comments we have, the more reviews we have, the more likely we can get new listeners, and that's
Yes.
how this show will really grow. And the comment section also tells us what you guys want to hear. I'm going to make sure that next week specifically, I'm going through all of those comments,
Yes.
and I'm going to read some of them live
Perfect.
on air to give you guys shout out, because that's why we do the show. We want to know what it is you're interested in. If
Yes.
you're on YouTube, that thumbs up, subscribe, and also, again, if you haven't guessed what I'm going to say,
Yeah.
leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment.
I was going to see if Sean was going to jump in and say
No.
that, but we don't finish each other's
No,
sentences
I
very
was just
well.
judging. I was just sitting here judging.
So let's keep going for the music, or you
Yeah.
want to?
No, it's time to go.
It's time
Because
to
you
go.
almost
I
got
have to say
played
goodbye?
off. He almost kind of played you off a little bit. It went softer. Did
He
you
was
notice
playing me off.
that? Yeah, well, he started to end the music.
Jeff, how dare he?
We
Thank
gotta
you
blame
guys.
this one on YouTube, guys.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
that,
Okay.
Thank you guys
right.
so much, though. We really appreciate it. It
Yes.
actually really helps our show. So make sure you take 5 seconds out of your day to do that for us, please, and thank you.
Yes. All right. So wellness on a budget. Ooh, I got a little bit too.
Would you? Oh, you got played off?
I got I just got a little bit. I got to ride it. I got to ride it
that
out.
wave.
Yeah. We should just have them. We should
the
just
whole
have it the
show?
whole show. Just one
What'd
time.
you think about our song?
I feel like
Oh, I'm out.
Ooh, I feel a
Talk
judgment.
about tall man.
Yeah, talk about tall man.
Tall woman
It says
not so much of the music.
Whoa, that's her heart and soul. You've literally just, it's easier to rip out
my
her
God.
heart and soul. Yeah.
Brutal.
I hope neither of you wrote it.
No,
I did.
she wrote it.
In fact.
Yes. She
And I
produced
only-
it and played
I
everything.
wrote it. I sang all of those instrumentals
all the
with my
instrumental.
vocal cords. 'cause
She
that's how you
studied
do
with
that.
Prince, who showed her how to do
That's
every
right.
instrument,
Because
produce
I
it
am
by
healthy
herself.
and well, and
Yes.
I'm able
Right.
to make
Yes.
sounds that none of you can.
So, okay, to jump into this, we have an expert here, Danielle Anderson from adandylife.com. Tell us a little bit about your website, A Dandy Life.
So what I do is I am a health and wellness coach, and so my focus is on helping the overwhelmed and supported person
Yeah.
try to figure out why do I feel terrible? And
Right.
why have I seen every doctor? And why have I read every book? And why have I gone on every website? And I still can't figure it out.
Right.
So we become sort of archaeologists together to figure out how your body works, because
Right.
everyone's body is different.
Right.
We don't all have to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so just history for us, I met you 93, 4,
I'm going to
5?
say, I mean,
90.
at least 95.
Okay.
In the
so
90s.
94, in the 90s, mid-90s.
When we were 12.
Yeah, when I was 11, and we were 6th grade and 7th grade. We were on the bus, and no. So we met each other then and have known each other throughout. I talked about, or I will talk about more, a couple years ago, I went through a very tough divorce. I went through a very tough time and had anxiety and depression, and I was working my way through it. I had a regular doctor, I had a therapist, and I had a psychiatrist trying to talk to me, and I couldn't really get it all together. And one of the things that was happening to me was I was losing weight, and I didn't just know how to do it. So that's when I called Danielle. Danielle helped me, kind of like an acting coach. If you have comedy training and Stella Adler and Meisner and you don't know how to make it work, an acting coach will take and go, how do I make that work for you? So she helped me with all of it. And it wasn't just about food, and it wasn't just about, rah-rah, feeling good, motivational stuff, and it wasn't just about medication. And she kind of merged all of those things and helped me find a path through it. And it was life-changing. It totally made it work for me.
Is that what your training is in? Kind of combining all of these things? And
It
is
is.
that formal training or picking things up as you go?
Yes. So I went to integrative nutrition school. The school is called Integrative Nutrition. It's in New York. You can do it online. You can be in New York City, and it takes about 2 years. And so there's the big movement in health is integrative health. And they're integrative. Holistic, right?
Yeah.
And holistic, a lot of people think holistic kind of means this weird, earthy, crunchy way of being,
Right.
when it really means looking at you as a whole. So what my training is to help people understand that your lifestyle dictates your health more than anything. And so how you're living is way more important than just how you're eating, right? You see the famous trainers who still have heart attacks, right?
Right.
There's so much more to wellness.
Right.
So something as simple as loneliness is as deadly as cancer, right? That the impact that it has on your body. So looking at yourself as, I would say I like to use the pie analogy. There are all these slices of the pie that we need to attend to. So earlier when you were talking about living in balance this weekend and how you think about your life in balance, that's the way to stay healthy, right? If you exercise too much, that's not great. If you don't exercise at all, that's not great. Moderation and knowing your body and ticking a bunch of boxes is the way to health. And most of us sort of think good health means you look a certain way. That's
Right.
right. When you go and you research, it's thin. That must be healthy, when that is a
Right.
sliver of good health.
Right.
So did that all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. And so that really is a great segue into the first point we're going to make about being healthy on a budget. We are not talking about sweeping generalizations. This is personalized to you. Remember, Danielle's approach is as a personalized coach. So before you take these tips from us, or I guess not before, but take them in with the idea of you need to know yourself. Now, I talked about this on the podcast as who you are as an actor and how to sell yourself and know yourself. In health, it's the same thing. You have to know what works for you. For me, I knew that I was sensitive to medication, or medications really work really strongly on me. I also know that when I'm stressed, I lose weight. I also know I have trouble sleeping when I'm stressed. I know myself, and really try to know yourself and integrate these things per how much you know yourself. So we're going to start with we're going to have 3 basic things, and we're going to break them down. So first of all, Danielle, what's the first tip on, we're going to talk about eating and nutrition. So what's your first tip on eating?
Okay, so a simple, inexpensive way to make yourself feel, so much better every day, hydration. Okay. Most of us are walking around dehydrated, and we don't even know it. And so I have some notes here because I wish I could remember everything, but I can't. But some signs of dehydration are decreased kidney function, hypertension, right? High blood pressure, urinary tract infections, intestinal failure, even brain function, dementia, right? Okay. There are keeping our bodies hydrated is so important, and you see it in kids a lot too, behaviorally. A lot of teachers now know a kid is sort of acting out in class, give them a glass of water. You have a new kid. That's how much dehydration impacts you. So that would be my first health tip.
And you say here, drink how many ounces? What's your calculation?
Okay, so here's a couple of rules of thumb. There's the 8 glasses a day, right?
Right.
And that's easy.
And a glass means 8 ounces. When they said glass, they never said.
So what I like to tell people is a glass. It doesn't matter. Obviously not a shot glass, but if you have a coffee cup in front of you and you wake up in the morning and you down water, a full cup of water, that's 1. Then before you eat breakfast, that's 2. Lunchtime, that's 3.
Right.
You're going to grab a snack or you're having a break, that's 4. It's easy if you just think of it as downing a full cup. That should be enough. And you'll know because when you go, your urine will be clear. It won't be that bright. If it's like bright orange or this color, you're in trouble. So you're dehydrated. Yeah. Or you can take your weight and divide it in half. And so I think I wrote something like, if you're 140, then 70 ounces, right? Okay. So everyone's kind of different, so that's why I like to give a couple of suggestions. Okay. But if every time you sit down to a meal or every time you sit down to a break, you will get that 8 ounces in. Okay. Or get a refillable water bottle.
So what do you feel about the water? Because my hardest thing is I have the water bottle. Mm-hmm. And I think literally what you just said will probably help me. Like every time I said, because I know Charles Grodin talked about that in his acting book. He had a thing about health, and he just said, I drink 2 full glasses of water before every meal, and that's how I maintain my weight.
There you go.
Literally, that's what he did.
There you go.
So I have it, and then I realize I'm not using it. Mm-hmm. And it's almost that kind of thing where you feel like, well, I have it. Doesn't that count? You know what I mean? But I'm not actually drinking it. So
well, and it's not clear, right? So you don't really know how much is left in there.
Right.
So that's why I like to use the cup approach. So the first thing I do when I wake up, I toddle over to the kitchen and down a glass of water. Okay. So it kind of feels like I'm taking my medicine or something. Right. But it's so easy. Or fill that water glass up and keep it by your bed. So right when you roll over, just down a glass of water.
Got it.
Do you have an opinion on temperature of water?
So there are a lot of schools of thought on that. So some people say, having cold water isn't good for your system. Others say it's better for your system. I say do what feels good.
This is the personalized point.
Right?
This is the personalized thing.
So this is what confuses everyone, right? You do this research and there's 100 ways to do things. So just try. If cold water is better for you, fantastic. If room temperature water is better, that's great too. There is no one size fits all.
The thing that what you're saying is, what I'm hearing you saying is the thing that will help you drink the water. Mm-hmm. Whatever gets you to drink it. Exactly. If cold turns you off to it, then you're not going to do it.
That's right.
Water's cheap. I can do water.
That's right. Yeah. Do the water.
What do you have a water?
I'm great with water. I'm unreal with water.
I'm so bad. It's my worst thing.
Good. Because I do about 10 hours of content every day.
Okay.
And I have water for every single show. And I
perfect.
usually finish it by the end. And I drink hot water, and I love hot water. And sometimes
Right.
I'll put a little lemon in it.
Right.
I drink more water than I need to.
And listen, the key for me, which I learned a long time ago, it is the easiest thing. Am I hydrated? Am I not? It really is the urine thing. If your urine's yellow, you're not drinking enough. If it's clear, you're good.
And
That's
if you're
it.
not a water person, brew tea. Make big pots of tea.
Yeah.
That's, it's we're looking for you to have the sugar-free hydration if
Right,
possible.
right.
Right. Even
Not
over a glass of
sodas and-
juice.
yeah, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with it, but for having any kind of sugar-free without relying on diet soda kind
Yes.
of a thing. But
So it's
tea,
okay to add lemon or
lemon, herbs,
Yeah.
bubbly water, mineral
Yeah.
water, anything that is sugar-free and
But I heard
chemical-free.
that. Okay, that's a great question. So I heard that carbonated water isn't as hydrating as regular water.
Well, so carbonated water often has a lot of salt in it.
Okay.
So that's what
so it's kind of a depletion
Yeah,
at the same time.
or it has a lot of mineral in it. Like for
Okay.
me, I can't drink Evian water. I can taste the mineral and the salt in it.
Okay.
And it's for me, but that's what you're picking up on with having
So would I
bubbly
have
water.
to drink more water, more sparkling water if I
again,
have the
it's
salt?
how you feel, right?
Okay, but
If-
it is hydrating. It's
It
not.
is hydrating,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. That's good for me to know. I didn't know that.
And for some people, sipping water all day is the better way for them to stay hydrated, right?
Right.
Because I know I've done this where I haven't had enough water, so I'll down a giant thing of water, and then you just pee right away, right? It's
Yeah.
not really kind of settling in your body.
Right.
So sipping it throughout the day keeps you evenly hydrated.
That's me, baby.
There you go.
There you go, and it's
Mr.
good for the skin,
Funtabulous,
you
Mr.
know?
Funtabulous, I hate to call you out, but how are you on your hydration?
I'm pretty good with water. I will say I've done some research on the carbonated water thing too because I love bubbles.
Yes.
And if you're drinking just truly water with bubbles, it's the same thing.
Okay.
The only difference is you might fill up faster, so it might
the air.
de-incentivize you. Yeah.
Right,
So that's
okay.
what you need to guard against. Is it's not more or less healthy, but it might prevent you from drinking as much if you were drinking still.
Got it. Okay. So number 2, moving on. This really helped me when I was working with Danielle. Is I was starting to eat, and then my first instinct was just to eat a bunch of crap to fill myself up, but I knew I wasn't balanced. So this is the tip that she gave me.
So it's eat something fresh at every meal, right? So when most of us are gaining weight, it's because we are eating out of balance, of course, but what we're eating is like high carbohydrates, even to, everyone's such a big push to just have protein, but when you add something fresh to every meal, not only are you eating more in balance, but you're also filling yourself up. And you won't be as hungry later, so you won't eat as much junk. So that means if you're having a turkey sandwich, fill it with lettuce, tomato, cucumber, right? If you're having, we're talking about living on a budget. If you are having top ramen, buy that bag of frozen broccoli or whatever vegetables you like, put in 2 handfuls into your ramen. Boom, you've put in something fresh.
What does fresh mean?
So fresh, I like to say fresh because that means just having fruits and vegetables, something that is close to the source. So, for instance, I like to use orange juice as an example. It's better to have the orange over the orange juice. The orange juice doesn't have the fiber.
But is chicken fresh?
Chicken is fresh, but so I'm talking about fruits and vegetables, right?
okay.
That
So
adding
add fruits and vegetables.
Add fruits and vegetables, and when you think of fruits and vegetables, think of them unprocessed.
Okay.
Right?
In their raw form.
Well, you can cook them, but because pizza has tomatoes on it, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Right.
talking about if you're going to have a slice of pizza, have a little salad with it, or have
Right.
some chopped vegetables, or cook something. But so that every time you grab something, you make sure you have some sort of close to the source fruit or vegetable. I don't care what you're eating. I don't care
Yeah.
if you're having, like I said, pizza or a burrito. What are you going to add to that? That's
Right.
a fruit or a vegetable.
And it helped me because I remember when you're like anxious and depressed, you don't want to you're not really thinking about it's hard for you to get out of the house, get out of bed, and like push yourself to do stuff. So I remember she just told me to like get a cucumber, get a bag of carrots, and get a couple apples. And that was it. Like, so I would just cut up the cucumber a little bit, or I would have a handful of the carrots, or I would just have a little bit of apple, or, you know what I mean? And that was easy. And guys, that is cheap. You can find that stuff very cheap. And the
Where,
other,
Sean? You mean at the grocery store?
at the grocery store, that one cucumber is a couple of bucks.
A bag of apples.
Yeah, a bag of apples, cheap. A thing of oranges. So that's another great tip that's very helpful. So are you pretty good on those?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've seen you eat a lot of salads here.
Yeah, I eat a ton of salad.
Yeah. So you corrected me. Just kidding. Anyway.
I agree.
I agree, Your Honor.
Yeah. Okay. And
I'm laughing
then
because I actually have a salad via Postmates coming here. Probably arrived 10 minutes ago.
Roxy is a rare breed. She's someone who I said, "Oh, you eat salads for health," and she turned to me and goes, "No." I said, "Why?" And she goes, I literally just like them.
I love them, but I need a loaded salad. It's got to be loaded.
Right.
Like I want tons of crap in my salad.
Like what? What do you
like
want?
avocado, tomatoes,
Oh, beautiful.
mushrooms, onions, basil, kale, spinach, chicken.
Well, that's not crap. That's all beautiful, great.
But I just don't want lettuce with
Right.
it. Like I want
with
all
a
the
with a
things.
little squeeze of lemon.
Right. Yeah. No, I want it like loaded up with stuff. Nuts.
But for somebody like
everything in
you're
my
so
salad.
blessed to like be a person who goes, I just love them as much as pizza. You know, I mean, that's amazing.
I actually hate pizza. So
Wow.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, then the third
brutal.
tip about eating, our last and final tip about eating, is eating balanced. What do you mean by that?
So eating balance. So that is, what does my plate look like at every meal? For the most part, right? Unless you have some serious,
specific dietary needs,
or you're you need to be gluten free or whatever your issue is. But if you're your average person, you need to have a protein, a whole grain, fruits, vegetables, healthy fat, and water. So your big salad ticks all those boxes every day, which is probably why you sound like you and look like you feel good, right? So you're getting your healthy fat from your avocado. You're getting protein. You're adding chicken to your salad, right? You have all those vegetables in there. Like that is what you're looking for. So when you eat in balance at every meal, your body feels better and you don't crave as much sugar. You'll have more energy. Your brain function will be better. You feel emotionally stronger. So if everyone could do that even 2 meals a day, you'll see immediate results.
So what is a balanced meal? We talked a lot of, we were talking about our budget shows, and, ramen and the cheap mac and cheese. How would we balance a ramen or a mac and cheese meal?
So if you are going to buy that boxed mac and cheese, then I would say buy some chicken. Okay. Right? And you can buy packets of chicken breast or whatever, packet chicken, however you want to cook it. And if you don't cook, you can buy it pre-cooked. So you're going to have
rotisserie chicken.
Rotisserie chicken,
right?
Yeah.
I love rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
So my big tip, as Sean knows, is make one day your meal prep day. So Sunday night, I like Sunday as the day. And that's the day where you're going to plan for your week. That's the day you're going to buy your rotisserie chicken. And that's the day you're going to buy your fruits and vegetables. And you're going to say, here's my mac and cheese. And maybe I'm going to add vegetables to it. If you don't like it mixed together, then have your salad, your mac and cheese, your piece of chicken, maybe some a whole grain roll, maybe some rice, some quinoa.
Right. Do you think that it is equally as healthy to go to Ralph's and buy their $5 2 chicken breasts as it is to go to Whole Foods and buy their organic, farm-raised, $14 chicken breasts?
Well, so to me, those are two different issues, right? If you're living on a budget, it's equal, right? If you have more money to spend, my pitch for people to buy organic is that it's not only better for your body, it's better for the environment, and it's better for the farmers and the workers who can work chemically free. That we don't just do it for ourselves, we do it for our whole world and our system, right? But if you can't afford that, although I think I recently read, I hope I'm not making this up, I think Walmart is one of the leading, that they sell the most organic food now. Right. It's so popular. So it doesn't have to be expensive. And even if you get a little organic food, that's better than
a few things.
That's better than none.
So you spend an extra 50 cents for the organic carrots, the bag of carrots or something like that.
Exactly. And cut out the bag of candy if you or cut out the beer or the other the extra that you don't really need. So, put good stuff in and good stuff comes out. But having said that, if that's not possible, yes, get the chicken wherever you can get the chicken.
Yeah.
And the vegetables wherever you can get them. The fruits, same thing.
Yeah.
That's more important than going, oh, forget it, I'm going to eat some frozen meal thing.
Yeah,
that's
What if
full of
that
chemicals.
chicken is KFC, McDonald's?
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer that not be the
Okay.
choice.
Okay.
That's probably the least healthiest choice.
But
because
even if you
they're
did, like,
processed.
let's say, even if you did do a chicken, you would say the grilled chicken sandwich over the fried chicken sandwich. or-
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Anywhere you can. And there are websites dedicated to you being able to plug in a fast food place and it'll tell you what the healthiest, like Weight Watchers does that.
Yeah.
Right? You put in McDonald's and it gives you
Is it the healthiest or the least caloric?
well, the least caloric, which ends up being the healthiest, right? So if
Right.
you're trying to make a healthy choice at McDonald's, it's going to show you probably to have, if they have a salad there, to
And
get
they do
that,
have some, right.
right? Or to get
grilled chicken
the
ones.
kid-sized fries over the giant fries.
Right.
Like anywhere you can
Save the
and get some portion control going because they're so high in calories and
Salt
and the process. It's overly processed food.
right.
Right.
Well, that's good. So those are 3 eating tips. Now we jump into sleeping. That's yeah.
I just went from doing really well to really poorly.
All right, sleeping. So the first tip Danielle said was I think this is know yourself and how much sleep you need. What does that mean?
So, I mean, I think one of the first things that people come to me with is that they don't know their body. Your body is talking to you all day long, right? If you get a headache, that's a message from your body. If you're feeling happy, that's a message from your body. So, knowing how much sleep you need, even though there are all these recommendations, some people seem to do fine on 6 hours. Other people can't survive without 12. So, become curious about your habits.
Is that a real thing? Because you just said people can't survive without 12 hours of sleep. And I know some people that I work with, because I get about 5 to 6 hours if I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
And they'll come in having had 9 or 10 hours and they're like, I can't do this. I just can't. My body's telling me I can't. I've thought lazy or whatever.
Right.
Is it really true people's bodies are that different that some people need 12 hours?
Absolutely.
Wow, that is
Yes.
insane and
But think
so
about
annoying.
it. No, but think about it though.
Right?
You can't correct that.
Well, so here's
That's so annoying.
No. It is. But think about how different we look.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing, right? It would be the
Right.
same thing.
Like there are those people that naturally can run. They never run, and then suddenly they start running, and in a day they run 5 miles, right?
That's annoying too.
That's annoying,
Yeah.
right? That's just how they're built. But if you think about what is happening when you're sleeping, right? It's kind of when your whole body is being reset. It's when your brain heals itself.
Right.
It's the reset time. So everyone's brain's different, and everyone's brain needs different.
Right.
Is it
Tending
the
to.
more healthy you are though, the less sleep that you need?
No,
No.
it is not. There's no.
It's
hard-
all so
you
it's
could
just
be exercising the right amount, eating the right stuff, all the tips you're giving, and you could still need 12 hours of sleep a night.
Potentially.
Wow.
Right? So that's
Yeah,
the
so
thing
different.
is to embrace that we're all different. So it kind of doesn't matter what everyone's doing. What you're mainly looking at is the extreme, right? If you're sleeping too much, that's not a good thing because maybe you're depressed, right? Maybe something else, maybe you're sick, right? That's a sign, a big red flag of illness is fatigue.
What's too much?
Say you, after 15, 18 hours sleep, you're still exhausted.
yeah.
There's something wrong.
Right,
Your
right.
body might be sick, right? That's a red flag, right?
Right.
But then only maybe having 2 hours of sleep or maybe skipping, some people don't sleep for days. That's often a sign of manic behavior.
Right.
And, right? So it's always balance. What seems fair? What seems reasonable? But you're listening to your body and you're, right?
And
So if
you have
you're-
to know yourself.
You've got to know
If you're
yourself.
an artist though and you're out here and you have no money, that means you're probably working a job and you're trying to audition and you're figuring out where you can shoot things for free, which sometimes means doing night shoots. So what if you cannot get more sleep?
So that I would say,
that leads us into number 2, actually, which is great. Don't be afraid of napping.
That's right. Do not be afraid of napping. You know, a lot of people steer clear of napping because they won't sleep later. But if you need to sleep and you can't, I would say it's more, and sort of doctors I've talked to about this agree with me, psychiatrists. If you've got to choose the nap, right? If it's a difference between, I didn't exercise today, but I haven't slept for 24 hours, go to sleep. Because sleep deprivation mimics a lot of mental health problems. And often you just need to sleep. So sleep if you need it. But again, that goes back to knowing your body. If you can go and go and go, great. But you're going to feel it, right?
It'll catch up.
It's going to catch
later.
up with you. So don't underestimate the value of sleeping, because then you start thinking you have other problems with your body when it's just you're sleep deprived.
Yep.
So we're looking for quick, cheap fixes, right?
Right.
These would be them.
Yes. All right,
check these boxes first.
So let's move on to exercise. We do, because you do talk about how if you do exercise and exercise properly, this is just kind of wrapping up the sleeping thing, then it does help you sleep better. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about exercising. I can't afford a gym. What do I do?
Well, hello interwebs. Like, can you, right? Like, it's so great. You can pull up every kind of free app and get videos on YouTube. And right, you don't need any equipment. You can do planks and squats and push-ups.
There's so many now that you don't need any.
Right, you can buy a jump rope for $5 and you can jump rope in your backyard. Right, you can dance around the house.
Right.
I think
take walks.
You can take walks. Moving away from this idea, I think, is hard maybe for actors who want to look a certain way, that you've got to be working out 2-3 hours a day because you need to look a certain size. Yeah. Right. So I understand that is something I'm not really sure how you get around. If you have
we're talking about health. Right. We're talking about the most basic
overall
of health.
Yeah. You don't have to do this for 2 hours a day. If you spend 30 minutes a day with getting some cardio and some strength training in, you will feel better. Right. And you will maintain, we're talking baselines here of health.
Right. And so what was your recommendation is 30 minutes?
30 minutes, and you can break those up, right? It doesn't have to be 30 minutes
3
in a row.
10-minute sessions.
3 10 minutes, 2 15 minutes, a 20 and a 10. It doesn't matter as long as you do it consistently.
So that couldn't be an hour every other day. That's 30 minutes every day.
It could be. You could certainly, do it when you can, right? It's consistency daily is better, but everyone's body is different, right? Some people work out 3 days a week and that's all they need and they're perfectly healthy.
Right.
But if you don't have a lot of time,
right,
this is a good way to keep track of these basic health goals in manageable steps.
Do you believe in the parking further? So you do that walk to the audition.
Absolutely.
And,
take the steps.
Take the steps instead of the elevator.
That's right. Fred Astaire, who always went up there, or is it Jimmy Cagney? One of them just talked about their only thing that they did was take the stairs, 15th floor or other. It doesn't matter.
Didn't matter. They always took the stairs.
Yeah. What I also will say is if you live in Los Angeles, gyms are less expensive now than they've ever been. You don't have to be a member at Equinox. The gym that I go to, I signed up with somebody else. I waited for a special. It's $25 a month, and they have everything and showers, and there's 80 of them all over the city. Wow. So wherever I am, I can pop in, and it so works. I know that there are some that are $9.99 a month. Like, they're very, very doable.
And they have the Groupons all the time.
And free. Mine has 2 weeks for free if you want to test it out. There's classes, all of that. So I don't know about other cities, but here it can be really inexpensive to be a gym member.
And this moving away from this idea that, if I don't go to the gym, just forget it. Because we all talk ourselves out of it. I didn't get to the gym, so I guess
something you can do.
There's something you can do anywhere.
And so number 2, weight training is all part of this. Make sure you throw in some weight training. How much weight training do we need a week, do you think?
So I would say doing weight training twice a week.
And how long would those be? Or how long a week should we shoot for? A couple hours a week?
So it would be, more of sets, like what parts of your body you're working. So you want to work either the front of your body one day and the back of your body, or the upper body and the lower body. Okay. Or
just make sure the muscle groups get taken care of.
My favorite thing is to do them together. I like to do my cardio, my weight training together.
Right.
So if I'm doing squats, I have a weight in my hand, right?
Right.
So if I'm if I can get that cardio in while I am or doing resistance
you're-
training just
right.
because I want to be done.
Yeah.
So
So you know yourself, and you know
right.
you don't want to do that.
right. Well, I don't have
you
a ton
wanna,
of time.
Right, you don't have a ton of time.
And
You're very
for
busy.
but it sounds like the audience that we're talking to, you don't have a lot of time,
Right.
And you don't have
You
a
have
lot of
acting
extra
class.
energy.
Yeah.
So what can you do to stay healthy?
And these things are all on YouTube. Trust me, we've been doing it.
yes.
And you find, and you don't, and the weight training, you can do cardio and weight training videos all
do
day
plank.
long.
You do it.
Do a plank.
1 minute plank every day, and build up to 2 and 3, and there's every kind
And a
of plank.
few push-ups. and-
So
yeah.
are you considering that weight training?
Yes, because
Yeah.
that's
Plank,
resistance training.
okay, so
You're
that's all.
building muscle.
So
Right.
you don't mean you need to go order weights.
Nope.
Although you okay.
No. It's
Do
all you
push-ups,
can do self,
planks,
everything. Yeah.
Squats is weight training.
Yeah.
So it's building muscle. That's what we're looking at, and
That's
that
good.
protects your bones and it keeps you from falling.
And then something we don't talk about as much, you said maybe get a roller and make sure you're stretching.
Yes. So injury, right? We injure ourselves a lot, especially if you don't have a lot of money and you're looking at these exercises on websites and things. You might not be getting the posture right. So make sure that you're stretching. There's a lot of different ideas about stretching. Some people stretch before. Some research says you don't have to stretch before. I like to stretch before and stretch after. And my favorite thing in the universe is that roller. Have you guys used the roller?
And what can we do if we can? Is it expensive? Where
It's just a foam roller. You can buy them at Target, and you roll. You roll your muscles on it. I
Maybe
cannot.
like $10 or something.
$10,
it is
guys.
I don't know if that's actually the price.
No,
but so
you're
yeah.
right. I think
it's
it's like
reasonable.
$10.
It's quite
Definitely
reasonable.
reasonable.
It is game changing.
Right.
It rolls out those knots. It
Right.
gets that lactic acid buildup going. I mean, I'm
Perfect.
doing. I don't run, but I run a little now because I roll.
Right.
It takes all that pain away. It's really amazing.
And here's the other thing, guys. I've been working with a student this week, and one of the issues that we hit a wall on is she was doing everything right, but she couldn't relax. And this kind of stretching will help you relax, loosen your muscles. So relaxation is the key to good acting. So stretching is great.
That's right.
Now, these are all very cheap and good tips for all of you. Thank you, Danielle.
You're
I think they're
welcome.
really, really good and useful. I have a few minutes to tell you my stories from the set.
I can't wait.
Speaking of health, I was in a movie with Jason Trost and Brandon Trost. Brandon Trost is now a big Hollywood director, just directed Seth Rogen's new movie. Jason Trost is an amazing cult filmmaker, and I've done several of his films. And I was they made a film. Brandon was shooting
the long
a
shot?
movie.
Is that the movie you're talking about? The Seth
No.
Rogen? Oh, a different Seth Rogen
No,
movie.
yeah, this is a different
okay.
one. Yeah, this is the Untitled Pickle Project at this point. To be continued. But Brandon, who made this cool cult movie that I was in, showed it to Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie was like, "Oh, I like that guy." He made a phone call and flew me out offered me a small role in Halloween 2. And I went there, and I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was not even in Atlanta, Georgia. We were outside, very small town. And I remember at that time I was vegetarian, and there was nothing really around. So I went to the Chinese place. I got veggie noodles, light oil, and we were about to shoot, and then a rainstorm came in. And then I came in, and so many people tell stories when they're delayed. They go to the bar, they drink, they do. And I remember I went out one night for sure, and I saw the local bar, and I thought, okay, but I could go down a dark hole here, but I didn't. I remember going to my room. I remember getting up and jogging and keeping myself in a good shape. And knowing that we were going to sleep at night, I had to adjust my sleeping, so I'd be up at night. So when
This
you
is
do
so you
night
do the
shoots,
best job on
so
set.
I can not go crazy, because if you drink a lot and you wake up with a hangover, you're more depressed, you're more anxious, and I'm trapped. I literally am trapped in this tiny hotel in Georgia, which I can do nothing about. So I did all that to keep myself in balance. And then because I did that, when we shot, I had the best time with Rob Zombie. We sat there and talked movies all night. He's such a cinephile. It's amazing. And I was relaxed, and we had such a great night. And I worked with Scout Taylor Compton, and Brandon, obviously my friend, was there. And I think it's when it came, and that's the other thing. I didn't know when it was coming. We didn't know. They said, well, it's delayed another day because of the rain. It's delayed another day. So you have to fill those days with taking care of yourself. And because I did that, I had a wonderful experience. If I was hungover and they called me and I was cranky, I might have given a worse impression. And 10 years later, Rob called me up again. and I just did his latest movie, 3 from Hell. So I really do believe it's because I took care of myself, did not go crazy sitting in that hotel room, make sure I got out and jogged and went out and made sure I ate what made me feel good. That's what helped me have a really good experience. So
Another time you're going to have to tell us more about your conversation with Rob Zombie, because I want to hear it.
The funny thing, I can't really recall the only, and it was 10 years ago, so I don't recall specifically, but I do remember he knows he knows all foreign films, Truffaut, Fellini, all the black, he's just a huge cinephile, and he's a total nerdy dork. He loves, his favorite thing is the Munsters. He even has
I'm an Addams Family girl myself.
Me too. Way more Addams Family.
Addams
No,
Family.
but then I started to see how funny Herman Munster was.
Yeah.
He's so funny. Jumping up and down is so funny. But no, I liked Addams Family more. But he has like the suit of armor from the Munsters in his house.
Wow.
And he's just such the nicest guy. His wife's the nice. They're just great people. So
Mrs. Zombie.
I balanced myself so I could have a good experience, and I'm glad I did, because you can go south. You can eat crappy, lay around, not in a hotel room when you're trapped. But it's because I took care of myself that it was great. So, where can we find you, Miss Phenomenal?
Whoa. You can find me being healthy all over the internet, everywhere at Roxy Striar.
And Mr. Funtabulous?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham, being less healthy, but doing my best.
You can find me at That Guy SMW, Instagram, and then Sean Whalen Peeps on Facebook. And Danielle?
I'm at A Dandy Life on Facebook.
Can you spell that?
ADANDELIFE.
Yeah.
I know.
A dandy
I was like,
life.
I don't know how I'm going to find that.
Yeah.
If she doesn't spell it.
But guys, take care of yourself so
Self-care.
you can be good for your acting classes and your auditions. It really helps. We're going to talk about the mental health in the future. And as always, thank you for letting me be part of your journey.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.